Hey, now we're geez.
Don't confuse them.
Six, okay. Ready?
Oh,
Call the meeting to order. Do roll call. Peyton. Here. Sherry.
here,
Hi. Here. Dan. Here. Charles Joe Vernon missing. Everybody please stand and for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Following public comment will be allowed at the mayor's discretion. This is exclusive of items requiring a public hearing. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. As a reminder to the public and city council members alike, the city council staff will not engage in a dialogue or debate with any speaker pertaining to any comments made. Members of the public wishing to speak must keep their comments germane or relevant to the specific item before the council. Please wait to be recognized by the mayor. Remember to state your name and address for the record. If you are online and would like to participate, please type your name in the chat and wait to be recognized before unmuting and speaking. Is anybody here who would like to speak on any item? Okay, is there anybody online? Nope. Okay, moving on. Consent agenda. Need a motion? Approve the consent agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the consent agenda as is.
I would second.
A motion and second. I'll take the vote. Sherry?
Aye.
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 Ben?
Aye.
Hayden?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. That's all. Okay, there it is. Item number 2, consider approving award for 2302 lift station contract.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Gene Merrill, Municipal Service Director. In your packet is a continuation of discussion from 2 weeks ago for the award of the 2302 lift station. Presented this evening is a recommended motion to move forward with the contract in the amount of $1,574,802.50 to Westland Construction. There's a recommended motion, but to add on to that, when considering the recommended motion would be to authorize the mayor to execute the contract once finalized by the city attorney. Okay, I'll stand for any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Jane? Sherry?
No.
Ben?
Nope.
Hayden? I'll consider a motion.
Mr. Mayor, this is Sherry, and I would motion to approve the low bid for Westland Construction in the amount of $1,574,802.50 for the 2302 lift station project, and direct staff to negotiate a contract between the city and Westland Construction for such project.
Have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. I'll call for a vote.
Mayor, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but would you consider amending the motion to include authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement once approved by the city attorney? That was what Gene had asked to have added. If that's something you want to consider. Otherwise, we would bring the final contract back to you for execution.
That's fine. I'm willing to do that if the rest of the group's okay with amending it.
So it sounds like Sherry's amending her motion and Ty was the second. Would you accept?
I will still second the amended motion.
Okay, then I think you're good to go.
Okay. No, that's all right. I'll call for a vote. Ty?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Hayden?
Aye.
Sherry?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Item number 3, trash disposal service agreement.
Thank you, Mayor. Maddie Waldeck, Assistant City Administrator. With us tonight, we have Bobby Hancock of Brothers. I'm going to make a brief staff presentation and then I'll invite Bobby up to the podium to make a few remarks. So Cameron, if you could toggle over to trash presentation, that'd be great. Thank you. Next slide. So just a reminder of the timeline. In December of last year, the city was made aware that Waste Management was going to have an immediate price increase for our residents. And we quickly went into motion to negotiate with Waste Management directly to maintain the rate through June of 2023, and then a $4 increase in July of 2023. And we researched additional providers in the area that would be able to service our community. On the next page, we have a comparison of the two proposals that we received. On the left-hand side, you can see Brothers Disposal is a 5-year agreement, and the spreadsheet outlines the total to the customer, what Brothers would receive, and then what the city portion of that bill would be. And then on the right is Waste Management's portion, which is laid out the same and is only a 3-year agreement. However, they did agree to keep the rate at the $4 increase until the end of 2023. So that's the difference in those particular years. So if we go to the next slide. Here's a comparison of the services that are provided. You can see the overage stickers are provided in both proposal at the same rate. The size of the trash carts, and there will be cart service. The proposal from Brothers is not a bag service proposal. It is a cart service for both trash and recycling. You can see the gallon size is very comparable to Waste Management, which is what our residents are used to today. Both offer Christmas tree pickup. You can see that Brothers Disposal's pickup window is a little bit longer than Waste Management's window in our current contract. The excess bags for Christmas is the same. We did negotiate with Brothers to include a community large item day where community members could bring their large items to a particular location. We would be on site to verify residency, and they would be able to bring those bulk items on that day. And then also front door special service for elderly and disabled persons is also included in the Brothers proposal. Next slide. Just some additional fast facts. We've received a lot and continue to receive a lot of social media buzz about the proposal for trash. With the Brothers proposal, residents will receive a trash and recycling cart. They will be comparable in size to what they have today. Service will be over a 4-day period in zones. This will allow for missed pickups, additional contact with our residents, and we will plan to have an interactive map on our website so that folks can go on and see very easily when their trash day would be. Next slide. So the potential options for consideration, and we went over this at the last meeting with the council. First option is to consider the agreement that's included in your agenda packet tonight with Brothers. That is what staff recommends. Second option is to consider an agreement with the parameters that are outlined in this presentation with Waste Management. Staff's position is to not recommend this proposal because of the price increase and price difference that was submitted by Waste Management. And then the third option is to consider removing the requirement of citywide trash and recycling service and allow residents to contract those services individually. Staff does not recommend this at this time. Next slide. We do have a communication strategy if Brothers agreement were to be approved. That includes website updates that we would update tonight, a social media post that we would update tonight, weekly social media updates, information in the Basehor Quarterly, a postcard that we have drafted and are ready to mail if the agreement is approved. We're calling our weekly posts on social media Trash Tuesdays to try to keep with our fun alliterations. So we plan to be available and ready to answer any questions that the residents might have. We certainly understand that transitioning a trash service is not easy for any community, but we stand ready to offer our support if the governing body so chooses that direction. So at this point, we would be honored to have Bobby come up and say a few words about his company and introduce himself. Yes, please go to the podium. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, City Council, Mayor, and everyone else. It really is an honor to be here, and I'm actually really excited to be here. You know, our little company we built it, started 12 years ago, my brother and I, from one customer. And we've just really taken our time and, worked on us, worked on our business model, worked on how we treat our customers. And here I am standing here today. So really, really excited. Right now we have customers on all four sides of Baser. We actually skip, over the city to get one and back over to get another. So again, it's really exciting to have this part of the community join with our community of customers that we already have, if we were so lucky to be accepted tonight. Again, we started 12 years ago with one truck. I still drive. Back then I drove all by myself. And then within about a year, we got enough that we had a helper, and we worked together for about 6 years, and that was a fantastic relationship. And then we bought another company, and that basically about quadrupled the size of what we were doing. And out of that company, we still have 4 of those employees still with us. So we've been really blessed with great employees and people that really, really care about what they do. And as a matter of fact, as we speak right now, they're just getting done. When we get done with our routes starting on Monday, we started helping the city of Leavenworth pick up their routes because they're having kind of a hiring issue. So, to help them keep up and everything, we get done with our routes, we jump on theirs, help them clean theirs up until they get their staff hired up. And we did that 2 years ago also, and it took them maybe 3 weeks, nothing big, but we do like to be there for people when they need us. So I could go on, but our business model right now, we've got the city of Easton, and we've had them for over 2 years now. That used to be a waste management site. And then we go as far north as Potter. We go, west almost to Nortonville. We go south to the south part of Lenexa, and anywhere in between out to Linwood and all the way out 5 Highway. But obviously it's just not real dense through there. We drive a lot of miles. We have about 3,000 customers now. The way that the cities, they don't scare us whatsoever as far as, wow, that's 2,728 more customers for you. We just look at that as, compartmentalize it as, basically this is going to be 4 routes. Well, guess what? We do it all week. We've done it for 12 years, and so that's not a big deal for us. My background, I started when I was 18 on the back of a truck for BFI. I'm not sure if anybody remembers them. They're now Republic. Been bought out a couple of times. I worked for them for 17 years. And then I worked for Deffenbaugh after that. And I ran a site for him out in Topeka. I ran the site out there, and that covered Valley Falls, Topeka, Silver Lake, all through there. I ran that for him for 7 years. And then I got out of the trash business. I wanted to be closer to home instead of driving to Topeka. And so I didn't do it for a year. And I told myself, how about I just get a trailer and maybe start getting some customers just to help out with my income. And that's when my brother said, let's just buy a truck. So again, here we are. So, for the city of Baser, our plan, I've always liked the idea of being in a city, multiple days. I feel as though, and this is just me, I feel as though when a big company says we can do it all in one day, I feel as though that cuts out a lot of people, and they realize that. They realize that in order for me to pick the city of Baser up in one day, I would have to buy X number of trucks and have X number of extra employees to do it in one day. And then what in the world do I do with all those trucks on the other days? The other thing is, and then once those companies realize that, then they can kind of name their price at a certain point. The other thing, in my opinion, is we know that we can handle 678 customers a day, recycling and trash. I had a couple questions about what if somebody calls in? Well, we've got 3 other routes that run every single day, and we converge and we take care of business. We've never let trash, set overnight unless there's obviously a really bad winter storm. other than that, it just happens. We've got a mechanic that really goes above and beyond for us. He's also a farmer, and I really like that about him because he knows how to wire things together when he needs that, when we need that. So I wouldn't trade him for the world. But anyways, so for the city of Basel, it would be Monday through Thursday. We'd run a recycle route and a trash route each day. Really, the thing should be seamless as far as the transition goes, other than the day of the week. And then, the team here, that they've really put together a solid plan of getting that word out, of the day of the week. And we're working on the routes right now. We've got it's called Trash Flow, and there's a route optimization tool. And so we download every address that's in the system right now. It's thinking I can pull up the map, we can have it up there. We can have the entire city on there. It has everybody plotted out, and then it would have each route a different color. And so then we can actually see it and say, oh, red shouldn't be up here with purple. Let's move them. And, so once that's all figured out, that's when we print the routes. We get the word out to the citizens or the residents, and then that's their day. Basel is unique because there's some really good east-west streets. So, at first glance, anything north of Leavenworth Road is one day. Anything south of State Avenue is another day. And then the two anything in between is split up, probably an east and west type thing. But until we kind of figure those numbers out, we won't have an exact thing. But like I say, that's in the works as we speak. So that computer's thinking of all that stuff right now. And hopefully when I wake up tomorrow, I'll have those answers. So we'll start plotting them out. So other than that, we haven't had a lot of time as far as getting carts and all that good stuff, but Rarig Pacific, they're our cart vendor, and they've done a tremendous job, and they promise us delivery of the carts the week of the 17th. As a matter of fact, they just emailed me and said that they'll probably have a load ready on the 14th, which is the Friday. So that's definitely not a bad thing. So, we've selected a spot, and I'll thank Gene for that. If we are accepted to stage the carts there and then start delivering as soon as we get them, and, dispel any rumors that they're not going to have a cart or anything like that, and I would imagine that little transition week or two is going to be kind of strange as far as, okay, Waste Management's getting their carts, I've got Brothers carts, type of thing. But past that point, shouldn't be a big deal. We've also had a few questions as far as, our website was geared toward our county residents, where I said. So when the city residents start looking at it, it's not geared towards them yet. I immediately made some changes to that to say, oh my gosh, yes, we are doing carts there. So there's a couple of different things. It also lists 14 holidays. Well, we're not doing 14 holidays. That was for our county residents, and that was to work with the transfer station in that respect. So so there's some differences there, but all that's getting updated, and shouldn't be any issue at all. One other thing that we did, during COVID and everything, we were able to obviously keep running. The trash never ever stops. As a matter of fact, during COVID, there was way more trash because everybody was at home. So that's when we went to a 4-day work week. We always had 5 days, and we ended up, I talked to the guys, and we went to a 4-day work week. So now they all have a 3-day weekend unless there's a holiday. But then let's say Memorial Day, they actually are off Friday and Monday, then they just work the Friday to make up for it. So I think that really helped out with morale, and, we worked together and got that all figured out and everything. But yeah, I guess I'm open for questions. Again, I could keep going on and on. I've probably forgotten a lot of things. The logistics of things, it's all rolling, and we've got a great team behind us, and we're up for the task. So I'm ready for any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Hancock? Hey,
Yeah, I was gonna ask on the confidence level of being able to get the extra couple employees you're looking for by
Yeah, so it really worked out well because I was thinking, okay, we're going to hire these people, then I'm going to say we're not starting until July 31st, so what really worked out well is I got the email from the city of Leavenworth saying, hey, can you guys help me? And I said, oh yeah, I've got a guy that I'm looking to hire. So he started day before yesterday. He started yesterday. He started on Tuesday. And so then we've got him, and then we're just working towards that, The other thing that we implemented during the COVID thing, I'm sure you guys all realize that it was hard to hire drivers. It was hard to hire CDL drivers. And obviously those big trucks need CDL drivers. We made the decision to start buying under CDL trucks, and that's up to 26,000 pounds. And so then anybody with a valid driver's license can drive that truck. So my wife can drive the truck, that type of thing. So that really, really helped us out. We bought a brand new 2022 truck and put it on the road. As soon as I thought that I was going to possibly have this account, I headed down to Arkansas and picked another one up, drove it up here. And it's ready to roll also. So, and those trucks are very hard to come by right now because everybody got that idea. I didn't start that one. So yeah, they're a little bit more expensive because of the demand, but when you see one and it's in halfway good shape, you got to jump on it because people are looking for them all over the country again, because they can't find drivers. So I think that we've kind of gotten over that little hump there. Our trucks are in fantastic shape, and so yeah, we're up for the task on that one.
Awesome. Anything else?
No, I appreciate between city staff and presentation this evening, all my concerns have been addressed. I think it'd be great to do business with a local company.
Great.
No questions.
While I don't have any questions, I'll make a couple statements, just kind of reiterating some of the stuff that I think you and I previously talked about. So when you look at cart size, pretty much the same, right?
Right.
We're going to have a small delta in regards to the days. So instead of it just being Tuesdays, they're going to stagger between 4 days. We're going to have an assistant on the back. So instead of the typical claw that they would be used to,
Right.
there's a driver and is picking up the trash can and dumping it in. There's going to be an assistant that's on the back
Right.
that's going
And
to,
I'll interrupt you, but yeah, that's another big thing to me. I mean, we could make the investment and get an automated side loader and save money. But again, then I've got to get rid of somebody.
Right.
So and to me, it's just, there's really good customer service that comes along with a guy on the back of the truck that, is able to, run the cart back up, again, for our senior citizens and everything, our handicapped, it's just a big deal to me to have that extra person, safety wise, a lot of things. So.
I completely agree with you. And that's what I was going to allude to was, yes, that assistant on the back would then assist with the elderly in doing so. There was some concern in regards to staffing. So if somebody's off or doesn't make it, how are you going to handle that? And you've already kind of helped me understand that you do contract out other employees to assist in times of need like that. So you're all covered there. So everything in regards to what I would see as a delta between what Waste Management had and what you guys have to offer, you've alleviated all of my concerns. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I'll add one more thing. Those employees for Baser, they would be dedicated to Baser. It's not as though we're melting in, a bunch of things. They're dedicated to Baser, that's their route. They, and typically what that means is that I'm at your house around 10:05, unless, within that time frame, so that you understand, it's not a I'm here one day, then I'm at a different city another day. I'm in Baser. So those employees would be dedicated for Baser. So thank you.
Thank you.
Sherry?
Yeah, I think the questions that the other council members already asked help the slide. Thank you, Maddie, for showing that. And then your presentation was excellent. So thank you.
Thank you.
If people put some trash in their bin that's not in bags or anything,
Mhm.
you'll still just pick it up and empty it into the back bin?
Correct.
That-
So we have cart tippers on most of our trucks. And so you basically wheel it, and it's not a claw thing, that it doesn't slam things down. It's got a lift that grabs that front lip of your cart, dumps it in, and then sets it back down,
Okay.
and then you wheel it over. And I think we had talked earlier, That's not to say that if we flip the lid and there's 2 bags that we don't just grab them. But we're not gonna leave, we're not gonna leave garbage in the bottom of the container. And they're all brand new. They're nice and shiny and, ready to receive trash. So.
Good deal. Does anybody else have any questions, on anything?
And we've got we've got the Timbers, south of here in, Lenex, they've got 300 carts and we do recycling and trash there. Then we've got another 300 throughout Lenexa, the same deal. So the carts aren't anything special to us. It's just that we don't offer them to our county residents, and that's a cost thing, it's just, that's what it comes down to.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Hancock or Maddie? Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
You have anything else?
No, sir, that concludes our presentation. So we do have a recommended motion in your packet for your consideration. And again, we stand for any questions.
Okay. For resolution 2023-15, or I'm sorry, for the trash disposal service agreement, I need a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the agreement between Brothers Disposal and the city of Basel as presented.
A motion, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. I'll call for a vote. Hayden?
Aye.
Sherry?
Aye.
Ty?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Thank you very much again. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Moving on to item number 4, resolution 2023-15, architectural design standards deviation request.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. Crystal Voth, Planning and Zoning Director. This is a request that you all considered 2 weeks ago at the work session for Mr. Chambers on the 10-acre site located just south of State Avenue. Mr. Chambers has submitted some additional drawings. He submitted the site plan that this council requested he submit to show the general layout and where this building will be located upon the site in relation to other things in the area. Mr. Chambers also submitted yesterday, late afternoon, updated elevations that include that column tying in, like you all had requested. Other than that's the only new information I have to present. Certainly, if you have any questions about anything we talked about a couple of weeks ago, I will happily answer it. But we have before you a resolution that would provide Mr. Chambers a bit of security in proceeding with this application. That resolution, of course, includes the architectural deviations that the city council has agreed to grant for this request. Staff recommends approval of that. Mr. Chambers is here to answer any questions you may have, and of course, I will as well.
So you want to step up to the podium?
Got to provide us drawings, but it's late. So if someone wanted to look at the columns, you can take a look on this. Go ahead. Any other questions?
Anybody have any questions?
I really don't.
I think we discussed it quite a bit. last week.
I know. I'm good. Thank you.
Sherry?
I would look at these.
Yep.
I wouldn't mind seeing the new plans.
You can put them on the table and go and look at it if you want. It would be, might be easier to look at down there.
Okay.
It shows. Side on the other elevations. Columns. Two areas that would be there. Let's go inside of the building.
Any questions on that?
Yeah. No.
I can leave this for you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Ben or Sherry, do you have any more questions?
I do not.
I don't.
Okay. We're gonna need a motion for resolution 2023-16.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve resolution 2023-15, a resolution providing the relief from certain provisions.
Yeah.
Yep. Provisions in the architectural design standards for a proposed building to be constructed on PID 181-11-0-0-00-00-03, period. A 10-acre tract of land located at the east end of Briar Road.
Have a motion to her second.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. I'll call for a vote. Ben?
Aye.
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 Sherry?
Aye.
Hayden?
Aye.
Passes 4-0.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, fellas.
Moving on to item number 5, resolution 2023-16, set 2024 proposed budget, R&R public hearing.
Thank you, Mayor. Cameron, if we could toggle over to the budget presentation, thank you. Go to the next slide. Before we get into all the fun things about budget, we have additional cause for celebration. If we could go to the next slide. We submitted a trail application for improvements at City Park for those trails. And we were lucky to be awarded over $350,000. And I would like to take the time to recognize Miss Cameron Ewing, our city planner. Good job. She worked really hard to submit the application, presented the application to the panel, and just did a fantastic job doing that. So a special thank you and congratulations to you, Cameron. Next slide. So that brings our total of external and grant dollars to over $17 million. That is incredible.
Fantastic.
So just again, for some perspective, 17 million is about 5 times the amount of property taxes that we collect in a single year. So that is external dollars from grants from other sources. Instead of using city dollars, we're using these opportunities to make sure that our tax dollars go further here in the city of Basehor. So we are going to continue to fight for more money, whatever is available. And we hope this number just keeps going up and up and up. So just want to take a
Can we
minute
make
to
a
celebrate.
social media post just of that right there?
Oh, we'd be happy to.
Yeah,
We'd be
that
happy
would be
to,
great.
especially after the activity we've had as of late. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next slide. So back to budget. We added an additional meeting just from the discussions that we've had and the additional data collection points that we've discussed. And so as we mentioned last time, we'll be back on July 12th with an additional budget discussion. And I'll talk a little bit more about what we're going to present at that time. So we're up to 8 total meetings that the public can come and listen about the budget, learn about the budget. And a lot of these slides are repeats. I'm going to include them in every budget presentation. I apologize for that. But I do think it is important that if the community is watching and they didn't maybe watch last time, I think it's important information for them to have. So let's go to the next slide.
Hey, Maddie, on that,
Yes.
note, is this presentation posted anywhere or could it be?
It is not included in the packet, but we could certainly post it. Yeah,
I think it might
absolutely.
help some questions.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Good idea.
Yeah, great idea. A little bit of tax terminology, of course, ad valorem is our property tax. The mill rate is the property tax rate. 1 mill generates about $130,000 in the city of Basehor, given our $130 million assessment. It is up about 17% from last year. And the tax levy is just the revenue that's generated by applying the mill rate to the assessed value in our community. Next slide. And again, to review of our fund structure, we have several different types of funds. The governmental activity funds are funded by primarily by property tax. We have our capital project and equipment funds primarily funded by sales tax, enterprise funds that are funded by the fees for service or utility charges. We have a couple of fiduciary accounts where we hold those funds, but the city doesn't have any control over them. And then we have certain special funds, and they have special restrictions about what can be spent out of those funds for those revenues and expenditures. Next slide. This is our 2024 budget priorities. Again, we worked this over the last several meetings, and I'm really proud of where we landed. I think this is a really great vision for us. We are advancing trails and parks projects. We are a place where we take pride in our community and its safety. We are improving, modernizing, and maintaining our roads. We are proposing no tax rate increase. We are a desirable place to live, work, and grow a business. And we are continuing to promote fiscal transparency and stewardship. Next slide. Just a reminder on how property taxes are calculated on a house. We start with the appraised value that's set by the Leavenworth County Appraiser's Office. We times that by the assessment percentage, which is set in Kansas statute, and we get the assessed value. We then take that assessed value, multiply that by the mill rate, and divide it by 1,000 to get the city portion of the tax bill. Next slide. And that just puts real dollars and cents to that calculation that we just talked about. And we have the mill rate highlighted in yellow, showing that's the only factor in this entire equation that the city of Basehor controls. Next slide. A little breakdown of the mill rate, showing where for every $1 of property taxes paid within the city limits of Basehor, where does that $1 go? About 23 cents goes to the city, about 25 cents goes to Leavenworth County, 41 cents to the school district, 1 cent to the state, 5 cents to the Basehor Community Library, and then 5 cents to the fire district. Next slide. Just a repeat of an analysis that we completed thanks to Councilmember Standifer's data that she sent to us. We looked at all the third-class cities in the state of Kansas, and there are 503 of them. When I average their property tax rate, it's over 48 mils. And of course, we are at 33.873 for this fiscal year. When I rank those from highest mill rate to lowest mill rate, so number 1 is the highest, number 503 is the lowest. We are 339 out of 503. And just as a reminder, in 2022, the city took action to remain a city of the third class. Next slide. So we did an additional analysis and said, okay, regardless of class, how do we rank comparative to population? So there are 12 cities in the state of Kansas that have a population between 6,000 and 8,000. When I took a look at those 12 cities, the average property tax rate is a little over 44 mils. And when I rank those, again, from highest mill rate to lowest mill rate, so number 1 would be the highest, number 12 would be the lowest. We're 10 out of 12 when we do that analysis. So I think this is an important slide, and the mayor made this recommendation to include this in every presentation. And I think that's a fantastic idea. So thank you, sir. Next slide. So the subject of tonight's presentation is the revenue neutral rate. So what is the revenue neutral rate from Senate Bill 13? The revenue neutral rate is the mill rate that would generate the same amount of property taxes next year as we did this year. And the county clerk sends that to us in a certified form. And so for 2024 budget, it's 28.918. Then of course, a flat mill rate would be 33.873. In your packet tonight for your consideration is a resolution 2023-16. And this resolution would do 2 things. 1, it would set the public hearing saying that we intend to exceed the revenue neutral rate. And 2, it would set a range of the mill rate for this budget. It would say that we're going to exceed the revenue neutral rate of 28.918 mils, but not exceed the flat mill rate. So we're not saying that the mill rate is going to be a flat mill. We're just setting that range for additional discussion and consideration of this governing body. Next slide. As we talked last time, we'll come back on July 12th with our forecasted model. And I just relisted the things that we're taking a look at. And there are a lot of factors that are going to play into this analysis. Additional breakdown of the 17% in valuation, including, what is new development, what is commercial, what is residential, and breaking that down even further. What does the decline in building permit activity look, not only for 2024, but what does it look like in 5 years, 10 years? What does it look like if the proposed cap on assessments is at 4% that's pending legislation at the state of Kansas? What does it look like if we receive our local ad valorem tax reduction fund dollars from the state of Kansas? What does it look like with a flat mill, and what does it look like with a quarter mill reduction? So if there are additional data points that you would like to see in this analysis, I'll kind of pause here for feedback. But this is what I've understood as sort of the key points that you'd like to see, and we continue to work on that. So I'll pause for questions or comments.
They got any comments or questions from Eddie?
Yeah, I don't know if it's specifically in that analysis, but one of the things I had wondered about is the breakdown of what is increases of current expenses versus proposed new expenses. Just because, that 17% represents the increase in property valuation. The city's buildings increased in property valuation, and a lot of our expenses have gone up at the same time. So I know a good chunk of that is expenses that, to the point earlier, we're not just going to cut somebody because valuations went up.
Yeah, great point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just for clarification on a couple questions I've had from the public. You're working on a chart that will show how much of the 17% increase is based off new properties.
That's
that
correct.
Come online versus just an inflation increase in valuation.
That's correct. And that's going to include also commercial property, taking that information. And it's really easy for us with the data that we have to look at that at the at the granular level. So it's not just, okay, this is new development and this is existing appraised values increasing. It's looking at, okay, this is new development, this is existing commercial, this is existing multifamily, this is existing single family residential. So making sure that we put dollars and percentage points to that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure, Ben.
Thank you, Maddie.
Okay, just a few more slides. Next slide. Oh, this is the last one. Hey. Okay, just as a reminder, the next presentation will be July 12th. And again, we'll come back. We'll have an action item on July 12th to set the budget public hearing. So we'll have a resolution for you to consider at that time. And then we'll also come back with that analysis and we'll really dig into the data at that point. So the resolution included in your packet is again to 1, set the public hearing date for exceeding the revenue neutral rate. And 2, setting that range of mill rate, saying that we're going to exceed the revenue neutral rate, but not exceed the flat mill levy. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Just one other comment. I
Yes.
appreciate the clarification that that's the maximum, right? We've had discussion that that could be reduced beyond that. And I think there's certainly some interest after we see the scenarios in having that. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'd make a quick note. I will not be here on August 23rd for the public hearings. Just as a FYI. Nor available by Zoom or any other way.
Off the grid.
Off the grid.
Ben or Sherry? Nope. I think that's it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank
There is a resolution included in your packet for consideration.
Mr. Mayor, I make a resolution 23-16. 2023-16, a resolution of the city of Basehor, Kansas regarding the governing body's intent to levy a property tax rate exceeding the revenue neutral rate and setting the public hearing regarding the same.
Have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. I'll take a vote. Sherry?
Yes, here.
Ben?
Aye.
Ty?
Aye.
Hayden?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Thanks, Ty. Item number 6, authorizing certain public facility improvements within the city of Basehor, Kansas, and providing the issuance of general obligation bonds.
Thank you, Mayor. Included in your packet are 2 resolutions and 1 ordinance. In the 2023 approved budget and then also at the governing body retreat, we spoke about the scheduled issuance of general obligation bonds for certain improvements that are scheduled in our capital improvement plan. So these 2 resolutions and ordinance would allow us to use bond proceeds if this governing body chooses to issue those general obligation bonds to fund parts of these particular projects. And they are the Civic Campus, the Metro Green Trail, and the lift station that was just approved tonight. So we do have the recommended motions included in your packet. We are requesting 3 separate motions if the governing body so chooses. Again, this is a scheduled debt issuance. This is something that was planned for in the 2023 budget process. And we've spoken about that in several open and public meetings, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Maddie?
No, we've discussed this for a long time. I'm good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Agreed.
So then I need 3 separate.
Do you have to do 3?
Yes.
We'd,
So that motion if you don't.
yeah, we'd like 3 separate. We had actually discussed that before because there's 2 resolutions and 1 ordinance. We think it's just be cleaner. And I hope that Pete agrees that if we just do 3 separate motions and votes. Okay, yes, thank you.
So I need one for resolution 2023-17.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve item 6A, resolutions 2023-17, authorizing certain public facilities improvements within the city of Basehor, Kansas, and providing for the issuance of general obligation bonds to pay a portion of the costs.
A motion to her second.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. I'll take a vote. Ty?
Aye.
Sherry?
Aye.
Hayden?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Need a motion for 2023-18.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve item 6B, resolution 2023-18, authorizing and providing for the alteration, repair, and construction of a sanitary sewer in the system and providing for the payment of the cost thereof.
I have a motion to her second.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Take a vote. Ben?
Aye.
Ty?
Aye.
Sherry?
Aye.
Hayden?
Aye.
Passes 4-0. And I need a motion for ordinance number 883.
Mr. Mayor, I would move to approve item 6C period, ordinance number 883, a home rule ordinance of the city of Basehor, Kansas, authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds of the city to provide funds to finance certain recreational trail improvements within the city.
I have a motion to her second.
I will second.
Motion and second. I'll take a vote. Hayden?
Aye.
Sherry?
Aye.
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 Ben?
Aye.
Passes 4-0.
Thank you all.
Moving on to item number 7, Consolidated Rural Water District Number 1 Agreement.
Mayor, thank you, Leslie Roberla, City Administrator. In your packet this evening is consideration of an agreement between the City of Basehor and Consolidated Rural Water District Number 1 to provide water service at the property that we refer to as the Basehor Civic Center Final Plat. The agreement is in your packet. I'm happy to answer any questions, but it is staff's recommendation that we execute this agreement and move forward with obtaining water for our site.
Have any questions, buddy? Sherry?
No.
Ben?
I feel like we've discussed this at length. No questions. Thank you.
Concur, with plenty of talk.
Hey. Good. Call for a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to authorize the mayor to execute a water purchase agreement in substantially similar form between the Consolidated Rural Water District Number 1 and the city of Basehor, Kansas, to supply water to the city-owned property known as the Basehor Civic Center Final Plat.
Have a motion to her second. Second. And motion is second. I'll take a vote. Ty?
Aye.
Sherry?
Aye.
Hayden?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Moving on to item number 8, First Amendment to Agreement with Leavenworth County regarding funding for 155th Street.
Mayor Leslie Roberla, City Administrator. I apologize. This was not on a work session agenda, but we did receive the final First Amendment to our previously approved agreement for reimbursement on 155th Street today between Leavenworth County and the City of Basehor. We thought this would be an excellent addition and hopefully also good news for the City Council to consider. So we thought it would be appropriate to amend the agenda to include this. This was negotiated and reviewed back and forth between Pete Heaven and Leavenworth County's council, and staff stands very supportive. We'd also like to thank Commissioner Smith and all of the Leavenworth County Board of County Commissioners for their support, not only of this project, but also of this amendment. This greatly assists the city in paying for and completing these very important projects that are much overdue in our community. And so, you know, Commissioner, please express our very sincere thanks to the Board of County Commissioners, and a special thanks to you. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Pete can certainly answer any other logistical questions, but we are very much supportive of this particular item.
Any questions for Leslie or Pete?
I have no questions for this. I want to thank Doug. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you pushing for us all the time. So we definitely appreciate your help. Hey, it's here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Sherry, you got anything?
And thank you, Pete, too, for working on this. I know there was a lot of your time too.
Agree with both of them.
Yeah, I take it based on the recency, this hasn't been approved by the county commission, but it'll go before them soon. Okay, excellent. No, I appreciate.
Wednesday.
Okay,
Mm.
perfect. Yeah, I think we had a good discussion around this. Appreciate the willingness to move forward that schedule.
Agreed.
So you need to vote on to accept this.
Mr. Mayor, I'd make a motion to move to approve and authorize the mayor to execute the First Amendment to contract for certain improvements to 155th Street as it lies in the city of Basehor, Kansas, as presented.
Have a motion to have a second.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Take a vote. Sherry?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
Ty?
Aye.
Hayden?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Yeah, thank
Pete,
you.
thank you so much. Appreciate it. Doug, thank you.
Doug, would our
You're
presence
welcome.
on Wednesday assist you in any manner? Okay.
Discuss the work session together here at the city.
Good. Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. All righty, just checking. Thank you.
Thanks again, Doug. Item number 9, city administrator and staff reports. Chief, start with you.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. It has been a hectic month. Probably two significant items are the captain and I are working on revamping our recruiting and retention efforts. Some of the ads that we put out has proven to be a monument of the past. The second item is trying to find the budget for replacement of lease vehicles. It's locally or within us.
Thank you. Anybody got any questions for the chief? No, good. Maddie.
Thank you, Mayor. With the approval of the trash agreement tonight, Stephanie and I are going to start posting that information tonight so that things can start getting printed at the printer to make sure that the postcards get mailed out on time. And again, we just stand ready to answer the questions of the residents and hopeful that this is a smooth transition. And Yeah.
So,
yeah, thank you.
thank you very much, Gene.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Just an update. We did work with Leavenworth County Solid Waste and held the Household Hazardous Waste Cleanup Weekend. I believe there was approximately 22 people that showed up. Got rid of a little over 1,000 pounds of material. So average cleanup, we had 32 brush dump people, I believe is what the numbers were. So pretty good weekend. As mentioned in the staff report, we had our annual KMED safety meeting of city facilities. We scored 100 out of 100 and received the gold star again this year, which will give us a 5% rebate. So we'll get another
Good
star.
job.
Been working with on contracts with city attorney, city administrator, Maddie, of course, always directs me right too. So we've got a couple of projects done over City Park. We were losing the north trail loop. It was eroding. The end section blew off the pipe. So we got it stoned in concrete. So it's wrapped up, trails repaved, opened up. If anybody drove in, the storm sewer project's completed. Got the approach report yesterday. We seeded, got all the dirt work done today, straw matted, erosion mat cleaned up. So we'll just let the cone set on the entrance to that business through the weekend, let the concrete cure out. So
Have we had any more problems at the park with any kind of damage or anything?
no,
Nothing out of the ordinary?
no,
Okay, good.
Field of Dreams is different. We did install 7 locking toilet paper dispensers.
Awesome.
We installed 7 toilet seat covers. We've started to see engraving taking place on the stalls as kids will engrave. So Maddie and Stephanie, they've come up with some nice signs, so we're gonna get some signage posted in there to maybe alleviate some items. But
Okay, well, thank you. I know it's an ongoing process, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Stephanie, do you have anything you want to say?
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Hi, Crystal.
Hi, Mr. Mayor, City Council. Well, as you know, we've been going through our regulations with a fine tooth comb. My staff, Leslie, Maddie, our third-party engineering firm, we have been having bi-weekly meetings to go through the development process, really from the top to the bottom, so that we can identify changes that need to be made, so that we can prepare documentation that can easily be handed out to people who are potential developers, so that they understand exactly what the process is in the city of Basehor. I also would like to extend a special thanks to Councilmember Standiford, who served on a selection committee to help us to choose a proposal for our downtown Basehor corridor plan that we're getting ready to have underway. It's a planning document to identify potential improvements from Basehor Boulevard to Leavenworth Road along 155th Street. Obviously, Cameron has been very busy for the city of Pacer. I think that's about what we've been doing the last couple weeks.
Yep, thank you. Kathy.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to confirm the mayor's shredding event that will take place and Stephanie will be working on the social media, but that has been confirmed for Saturday, August 26th here at the City Hall parking lot from 9 a.m. to noon.
Thank you so much. Cameron, do you have anything?
I mean, now that I got all the good news about the grant, I
Yeah,
can sleep
yeah.
better at night. So that's about it. That's my only update.
Thank you.
Sleeping better.
Good work.
Leslie?
Thank you. Just a couple of quick items. I do realize that our contract with Waste Management is wrapping up, but I would like to express our thanks to them. They've been great to work with in this transition. They have provided a plan for cart pickup as well. And so we'll be incorporating that. Most likely they'll be picking up their carts on their last trash day, which would be the last Wednesday of July. And so hopefully it's a pretty seamless transition between their carts going out for the last time and Brothers carts coming in. And as Maddie said, we recognize that any change is, it's a change. And there will be some hiccups along the way, but Waste Management has been really responsive and very helpful in the process. So I do thank them for that. As Crystal pointed out, we have been meeting regarding the development process. We also have meetings that are now will be established for Encode. That was approved on your consent agenda this evening. And we will actually have members from the Fairmont Township Fire District to participate in that as well, because development and what codes we're reviewing, they really need to integrate well together. And so we really appreciate the working partnership that we have with Fairmont Township. They're really great to work with. We will have presentation at the end of July regarding fireworks. I know that is everyone's favorite topic, but we thought it would be timely to do it following the 4th of July celebration. So we have current information on calls and complaints that have come in. So that will be at the last work session in July, same time that we talk about nuisance and weeds. I think it's going to be a great work session for you. I would just like to extend a huge thanks to both Maddie and Stephanie for all the communications they've been putting out. Certainly isn't always the easiest task, but they both are very timely and quick in responding, and their responses are always professional, but to the point. And I think our citizens and our community just really appreciate it. And they're now actively monitoring multiple Facebook pages because these Facebook pages just seem to keep popping up. So that's exciting. And I hope that Jenny and Johnny love each other forever now that they are out there damaging our brand new, installed partitions at the Field of Dreams restrooms. And it is unfortunate that we have to lock toilet paper up. I thought that was concluded at the end of COVID, but apparently not. But also in July, we will be talking about the Field of Dreams, as you know, and we'll have, we've invited all of the members of the Field of Dreams stakeholders group and special committee to come and talk to city council about all of the improvements we have made, even though people apparently are vandalizing them. So that is really disappointing. And I would just end with, if you have not had the opportunity to drive by the library and see all of the dirt moving on our city hall project, I hope that you will take a quick drive by. It is actively under construction. It looks fantastic. We had our first progress meeting with Crossland Construction today, and they are moving and shaking. They are not they will not let any grass grow on that dirt. I'll leave it at that. So I hope everyone has a safe and happy 4th of July.
Thank you. The sledding deal looks fantastic.
Doesn't that look great?
It looks awesome.
It's gonna be great.
So. Council member report, Sherry?
Yeah. Did you need to say anything, Pete?
I would like to say something.
Would you like him to go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mayor, Council, Pete Evans, Special Counsel. There is no report from the legal department.
And we appreciate that. Thank you, Pete.
I'll remember that one.
That's great.
That's the best one yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sherry.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Okay, well, it was a good month for June. Let's see, many of us, and
went and attended the Mid-America Regional Council Assembly and Leadership Awards Luncheon on June 9th. It was a really full house and a good event. June 14th, again, we were back at the Civic Campus doing another groundbreaking for the new building going up. June 17th, I went as a representative of the city of Basel to Leavenworth to the League of Women Voters and did a presentation and answered questions. So it was a good morning and a good turnout of folks there. A lot of good questions, and we had Basel residents there, so it was good. As Crystal mentioned, on June 23rd, I met to discuss and review applicants for the Basel Downtown Corridor Improvement Plan. So that was exciting to see. And then just briefly to mention to people, we've got the upcoming parade, food trucks, fireworks. I hope everybody can attend. Remind everybody to be safe and remember, we're celebrating our freedom as Americans. So that's very important. And just enjoy yourself. Have a good time. That's all.
Thank you. Yeah.
Don't have anything to say.
All right.
Have a good fourth.
Eight.
Yeah, just a note, pretty related. I was at the Basel Community Volunteers meeting Monday. There was a question about fireworks, so I appreciate the post on when those are technically allowed within the city. And then, yeah, the parade sounds like there's gonna be 10 food trucks and a pretty good fireworks show, so looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And also there's a blood drive at VFW tomorrow, if anybody's got time.
Thank you. Moving on, number 11, mayor's report. First of all, I want to thank Cameron personally. Thank you so much. Great job. That's a lot of money. We really do appreciate it. Crystal is actually meeting with the lady that Sherry gave me the name to, and I talked to her for the BZA meeting on Friday. Is that right? So if she works out, we'll be full everywhere on planning commission and BZA, and that's a good thing. It's been a long time since we've been completely full. So other than that, I don't have anything. So I need a motion. Since there's no executive session to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor, move we adjourn.
I'll second.
Everybody in favor?